Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm absolutely delighted today that we have the first interview with Laura Hodges Bethge, who is the new president at Celebrity Cruises, taken over just recently. So we are so lucky to be speaking to you. We're in the UK, you're on a flying visit, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I think first thing, Laura, just to tell us about your career. You've been at Royal Caribbean Group a long time, so perhaps tell us your sort of rise to fame.
Well, thank you for having me. So excited to be here and to get to know you and chat with you. I've been at Royal for 23 years at the group. Started in hotel operations and then moved on to marine operations. Spent some time in sales. That was kind of my longest stint, working with our travel agent partners, 7 years. And then went on to head investor relations, which was really formative in my career. Seeing the business from, Jason and Richard's eyes at that time was just really formative. And then I ended back up in the marketing team, headed to China for some time, spent time running our commercial operations there, and then came back to the States and developed a product development team. And spent time building out the Perfect Day at Coco Cay for Royal Caribbean International, which was very informative as well. And then moved on to shared services. And so for the last 2 years, and during a bit of the pandemic and that struggle, we spent time running supply chain, travel services, port operations, safety, security, environment, risk management. So lots of different areas across our group. And then got the illustrious pleasure 11 days ago of getting to take the helm of Celebrity Cruises, which I'm just so excited about.
Well, it sounds like you're well qualified. Feels like you've done every job going. So
I had a little bit of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, was being a brand president the kind of the ultimate goal or the dream? I mean, you say it's like a real privilege, but was it what you wanted to do?
I would say at the beginning, I ended up at Royal Caribbean. I come from education, and my grandfather was disabled, and so I did a lot of disability advocacy work. And Royal Caribbean Group headhunted me to actually make the ships accessible for people with disabilities, which I thought was just amazing. And it really speaks to the values of our group, always doing the right thing. And this was before, there was regulation and things of that nature. So it really just Royal Caribbean consistently, putting itself out there to innovate and to do the right thing. So I thought I was going to go to the company and be on a project, to be quite honest, and then go back to education. But literally within my first week, I'm like, they're going to have to drag me out of here because I love it. Fell in love with hospitality, fell in love with cruise, and spent the first decade of my career really just learning all about the different areas of the company. And so spent that time in hotel and marine and sales, really at, a manager level, and just really digging in and trying to get as much expertise as I could. Not really, to be quite frank, knowing where it was going to end up. And then when I moved my way up in sales, loved every minute of working with our travel partners, and I'm such a big fan of the trade. And when I ended up in investor relations, I think my wheels started turning, thinking about and seeing the business from a different perspective. And then it was my time in China, running our commercial operations there, that I think really cemented for me my ability to kind of, that was I guess I would call it a little bit my Joe role, because it was a bit of a managing, director of a market kind of role. And it was doing that really cemented for me that I think I could do more. And I just love the commercial side of this business. And so ultimately started to try to collect the experiences I needed to take this job.
So what was it like? Did Jason make the call? Tell us what, when he rang up and said, it's your time.
He invited me to his house, so I knew something was up. He had been traveling. Fridays we work remotely, so he was at home. He's like, hey, can you stop by this morning? It's not usually a call that you get. That's not normal. And so, he brought me in and basically said what you said. It's time. And I was just blown away and really excited. And we're on day 11 now.
My goodness. Baptism of fire, I'm sure. Let's just talk about the time that you're taking over, though, because it's a really exciting time for Celebrity. You've got Ascent coming, the as yet unnamed fifth one, also on the horizon. So tell us a little bit about how Celebrity is doing at the moment and why it's such an exciting time for you to be taking the helm.
Well, we just had our best wave ever, right? So if there's ever a time that you could take over, now's a great time. The fleet is in an amazing place. The brand is in an amazing place. What Lisa created with the team and the Edge class series is, bar none, has changed the premium landscape.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for all the work and the vision that she had to create those amazing ships. And so, yeah, we take Ascent now this fall. She left me also a few gifts of what we call white boxes on Edge 5, which gives us room to kind of create and innovate, which is really fun. So the team's hard at work on that.
So you can have your own stamp on the fifth ship.
Me and the team, yeah. So what you'll learn from me over time is that for me, it's really about what our customers want, right? And so anything that you see come that we add to the brand or that we grow in with the brand is really keeping the forefront with the customer.
Yeah.
And things that they want and covet and love.
So getting feedback from the first 3 ships and then making those changes. Because I know you were putting extra suites, weren't you, on Ascent, for example? That was a change. So.
Yes, and a really smart change. The retreat, our real upscale luxury experience on board the ship is spectacular. It's got the lounge and its own, pool deck. The restaurants, etc., they're spectacular and consistently full. So you have to book. I was going to say,
do they sell out first?
Oh, they always sell out first. So you have to book very early to get that prime space.
I'm sure. Well, you mentioned Lisa. We should give her a shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
Lisa of Polo, your predecessor, she was an absolute powerhouse, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Made some great changes at Celebrity, and she's been a real leader in the global cruise industry. So, will you be a leader like her, or will you have your own style?
I think I'm going to build on her foundation, right? And so she left the brand in such an amazing place. She's absolutely a dynamic and powerful woman leader, and I look forward to emulating, her and then building upon that and creating, the brand that our customers are going to absolutely love to continue to sail with. Yeah,
absolutely. And you mentioned obviously your passion around accessibility, and Lisa obviously was huge on DE&I and looking after that sort of side of things. So is that something that will continue under your stewardship?
I think, what's super important is making sure that we broaden our customer base and make sure that we have experiences for a broad range of folks, and that includes everyone, right? Absolutely. So absolutely an all-inclusive brand that is going to continue, and we want to make sure that we are creating experiences and memories and have deployments that our guests are going to enjoy for years to come.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So once the Edge series is done, I know you've got your white boxes to fill and all that kind of thing, but what's the next stage? Obviously people weren't making new orders during the pandemic, we understand that, but there's still quite a lot of ships to come, but then there's probably going to be a bit of a lull. But are you now looking ahead to the next class of ship, or what are your priorities beyond the Edge class?
Yeah, so we're certainly starting to dream about what comes next. Our business, obviously, you've got to order these ships very far out, and it takes quite some time from the time you start dreaming and working with the yards to come to fruition. So now is the right time for us to start dreaming about it. Only on day 11, though, so for a future conversation.
That would have been amazing, wouldn't it, if you might have got that kind of scoop. Had to ask.
Of course, absolutely. But no, the dreaming has already started to begun.
Okay.
And I think in the coming, not too long, but the coming years, we'll be talking about what comes next for Celebrity.
Okay, all right. Well, we won't press you today. We'll let you get your feet under the table, and we'll ask you again in a couple of months, maybe. Can we talk about the UK market?
Absolutely.
You're here, so day 11, but you've come to the UK. So why have you done that? How important is the UK market to you?
The UK is our absolutely #1 largest international market. It is so important to us. It was so important for me in my first week. I spent a ton of time with our trade partners in the US. I didn't have as much time to be here, but I needed to make sure that I got here, and I'll be back in July meeting with our trade partners here. So it's very, very important market for us. We started in 2010 with the beautiful Celebrity Eclipse. 5 years ago, we upgraded to Celebrity Silhouette in our Solstice class, and next year we have Apex, Celebrity Apex, coming and doing her season here in Southampton. So it is a super important market for us. It continues to grow, and we're going to continue to invest in it to make sure that it does.
So that's great, isn't it? We're going to get one of your brand new ships sailing out of Southampton. And was that based on the UK sales or agent demand, because they wanted one of your Edge class ships here?
Yes, yes, and yes, right? At the end of the day, our goal is to make our guests exceptionally happy and to put the right ships in the right places that are going to drive the most profitability that we can for not only ourselves, but for our travel agent partners as well. And so putting an Edge class series inside of our UK market, our largest international market, is proof that it is growing, it is doing really, really well, and that we're excited to continue to grow for the future.
Yeah, and you've got some fantastic itineraries of the fjords
Yes.
and up to Scandinavia, and then the Arctic Circle is new.
I know, it's so spectacular.
Yeah.
The number one reason our guests are choosing Celebrity Cruises is because of the amazing destinations that we go to, and then the way in which we take you there.
Yeah.
And so all of the different types of destination offering that we have, we continue to evolve and change it because that's what keeps our guests coming back and getting new experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your travel advisors, your agent partners.
Yes.
I mean, you said earlier, I just love the trade.
I do.
Which is fantastic. And what's been your, I mean, it's very hard because it's early days,
Yes.
but what's your impression of the UK travel trade? Is it back to where it was? Because obviously direct business did, take a bit, it left a little bit in the pandemic because we had lots of agents that were either closed or understaffed, under-resourced for obvious reasons. Is the trade business now coming back for you? Is it really important part of the mix?
The trade business is exceptionally important part of the mix. I haven't gotten yet the pleasure of meeting our travel partners here in the UK, but I'm looking forward to doing that in July when I'm back. So I can't wait. My ancestry is English and Irish, so it's in my blood a bit. So I'm really looking forward to meeting all of them. But collectively and globally, our travel partners are a huge portion of our celebrity business, and that's going to continue into the future. And when you sit in the premium space the way that we sit in it, it's really important for us to have that interpreter, and I think the travel partner is really the interpreter for the customer to really understand what the value proposition of celebrity is, what we offer, and how they could take advantage of all that we offer. And so I see travel advisors being very, very important part.
And have you seen the landscape with agents changing in the States? Because certainly here, we've just launched a program with Celebrity around new to cruise.
Yes.
We're trying to get all these new agents because there's been quite a lot of change. With lots of people maybe leaving the industry and some new ones coming in. So Celebrity's got a great program at the minute here to try and get more, new agents to learn about cruise and to learn about celebrity. So is that something you're seeing in all markets?
Yeah, in the States, we've seen a lot of consolidation. So a lot of folks that had brick and mortar during the pandemic shut those down. Went to home-based, et cetera. And so we've had to change our style in the U.S. as well, much like we're doing here in the U.K. and doing this great training program that we have with all of you and getting all those new agents up to speed. The beautiful thing is that across the globe, so in the U.S. here and other places, we're seeing a lot of new folks become travel advisors, which just shows how alive and well that distribution system is and will continue to be.
Yeah, okay. What keeps you awake at night? I mean, we're talking, it's all very positive, great first quarter, everyone's had a wonderful, it's great, and I don't want to be negative, but just for agents watching this, what would be the things, the words of caution or maybe obstacles that we just need to look out for in your opinion?
We're certainly very focused on the sustainability front. There's a lot of different I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night because I'm really proud of the way that our organization is methodically working through the decarbonization of our business. We have a net zero cruise ship by 2035. We'll be carbon neutral by 2050. And we have many conversations consistently, week in and week out, as a leadership team as to how we're going to get there. So I feel really good about where we are there, but that certainly is a very big topic for us and something that we're highly, highly focused on. I would say what keeps me up at night is my impatience, because I know it's only day 11, but I am just really excited about digging in and learning more and meeting everyone and just really taking this brand to the next level.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see that. Can we just ask you about the UK? I'm going to put you on the spot here because obviously Jo is a huge personality in the UK industry and she's stepping down. We're very sorry to see her go, and I'm sure that's been announced a while ago. How are you getting on with the recruitment process? Are we going to have an announcement of who's going to take over the UK quite soon?
Very soon. We're closing in on a decision. Jo has been a pillar in this industry for 20 years, and so super sad that I'm getting to work. I'm keeping all of the days. I'm using all of her time before she steps down in July, and then taking all those good nuggets from her. But she's left the brand, the organization, in such an amazing place. And we're closing in on a decision, so hopefully very, very soon.
All right, well, we are so delighted that you've managed to spare the time to speak to us at Travel Weekly and to sort of speak to the agent readers, because they'll be so thrilled that you're such an advocate of the trade, and we can't wait to see you. Perhaps when you come back in July, maybe we can have another chat then.
I would love that. It's such a pleasure to meet you and talk to you and to talk to all of our travel advisors today.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much.